Yashodanandana Bhajanaranjana Yashodanandana Bhajanaranjana Chamanatira Banachari Chamanatira Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jayam Vishupad Paramansa Paripachakachaya Srita Sadashi Shimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 30, Gopis Search for Kṛṣṇa, text 26 to 28. I will read verses 26 and 27, and together we will do verse 28. 26. Tais padais tat-padavīm anvicchantyo grato balāḥ vadhvāḥ padaiḥ su-pṛktāni vilokyārtāḥ samabruvan. Translation. The gopis began following Krishna's path as shown by his many footprints. But when they saw that these prints were thoroughly intermixed with those of his dearmost consort, they became perturbed and spoke as follows. Kasya padani chaitani yataya nandasu nuna amshanyasta prakostaiha karneno karina yatha. The gopi said, "Here we see the footprints of some gopi who must have been walking along with the son of Nanda Maharaj. He must have put his arm on her shoulder, just as an elephant rests his trunk on the shoulder of an accompanying she-elephant." So text 28, we will read together. Anayaratito nunam Bhagavan Haririshvara Yano vihaya govinda Prito yam anayadraha Anayara titonunam Bhagavan Haririshvara Yano vihaya govinda Prito yam anayadraha Anayarattitanunam Bhagavan Haririshvara Yano vihaya govinda Prito yam anayadraha. Chant. Anayarattitanunam Bhagavan Haririshvara Govinda Vitayam Ishvara Govinda Vitayam Haririshvara Avihara Govinda Pitayam Anayatraha Ayatitonam Bhagavan Haririshvara Anavihaya Govinda Itoyam Anayatraha. Ladies. Anayarattitanunam Bhagavan Haririshvara Avihaya Govinda Itoyam Anayatraha Tito Nuna Bhagavan Haririshvara Govinda Anaya, by her, Aratita, perfectly worshipped, Nunam, certainly, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Hari, Lord Kṛṣṇa, Ishvara, the Supreme Controller, Yat, inasmuch as, Naha, us, Vihaya, rejecting, Govindaha, Lord Govinda, Pritaha, pleased, Yam, whom, Anayat, led, Rahaha, to a secluded place. Certainly, this particular gopi has perfectly worshipped the all-powerful personality of Godhead Govinda, since he was so pleased with her that he abandoned the rest of us and brought her to a secluded place. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that the word aratita refers to Srimati Radharani. He comments, the sage Shukadeva Goswami has tried with all endeavor to keep her name hidden, but now it automatically shines forth from the moon of his mouth. That he has spoken her name is indeed her mercy, and thus the word aratitaha is like the rumbling of a kettle drum sounded to announce her great good fortune. Although the gopis spoke as if jealous of Srimati Radharani, they were actually ecstatic to see that she had captured Shri Kṛṣṇa. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti quotes the following detailed description of Srimati Radharani's footprints, as given by Sri Rupa Goswami in his Sat Shri Ujjala Nilamani. At the base of a large toe of her left foot is the mark of a barley corn. Below that mark is a disc, below the disc is an umbrella, and below the umbrella is a bracelet. A vertical line extends from the middle of her foot to the juncture of her large and second toes. At the base of the middle toe is a lotus, below that is a flag with a banner, and below the flag is a creeper together with a flower. At the base of her small toe is an elephant goad, and upon her heel is a half moon. Thus, there are 11 marks on her left foot. At the base of a large toe of her right foot is a conch shell, and below that a spear. At the base of the small toe of her right foot is a sacrificial altar. Below that an earring, and below the earring a spear. Along the base of the second, third, fourth, and small toes is the mark of a mountain, below which is a chariot, and on the heel is a fish. Thus altogether there are 19 distinguishing marks on the soles of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. Mukam karoti vatshalam pangam lankaite kinim yakipam tuham vande Shri Guru Tinataranam. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 4, verse 89, there is a verse which explains who is Radharani in relationship to us. Otta e Sarva Puja Paramadevata Sarvapalika Sarva Jagatirmata. Therefore, Radha is Parama Devata, the supreme goddess, and she is worshipable for everyone. She is protectress of all, and she is the mother of the entire universe. So Radharani is our mother. Srila Prabhupada also said that in relation to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare is Radharani. A mother sacrifices everything for the benefit of her child. But when I was in Nepal, one time, one person in the audience asked the question, isn't Durga our mother? Because they worship Durga a lot in Nepal. I said, yes, she's the mother of our body, but Radharani is the mother of our soul. She is our spiritual mother. Yes, and Durga is our material mother. So you have your choice who you want to worship. We have our choice, Durga or Radharani. Our original mother is Radharani. And Kṛṣṇa, he's the object of love. Radha is the compassionate nature of Kṛṣṇa. So she's the mercy incarnation of Kṛṣṇa. And also, the mercy, she expands herself as gopīs, Lakshmi, Guru, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is his partial incarnation of half Radha, half Kṛṣṇa. And so she is with us. We have Lord Chaitanya and we have Radharani here with us. So when I was giving a lecture on Radhashtami in the Gurukul, when the Gurukul used to be here, one little boy raised his hand and asked the question, did Radharani go to Gurukul? So I said, no, she learned in a different way. And if you want to find out how she learned, you can read Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, verse 24, where is explained how Radharani learned everything. The verse says, I offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Vyasadeva, incarnation of Vasudeva. The pure devotees drink up the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the nectar from the mouth of Kṛṣṇa is given to his different consorts. And that's how they learn the finer arts of music, dance, dressing, and decoration. Now, they didn't go to Gurukul. No, they didn't go to Gurukul. They learned from getting the remnants of Krishna's lips. And Prabhupada says, this is not mundane. And so Vyasadeva, he's taken this nectar from the lips of Kṛṣṇa, and he's transferred it, he's written it in the form of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So this is what we're getting here. This is Bhagavatam. This is a nectar from the lips of Kṛṣṇa. So if we get this nectar attentively, then we can also become expert in music, dance, and all these things, and become a servant of Kṛṣṇa in the spiritual world. So, Prabhupada in that purport, he says, the pure devotees of the Lord can equally relish nectar in the form of the profound philosophical discourses and in the form of kissing by the Lord in the rasa dance, as there is no mundane distinction between the two. So we're hearing now about the rasa dance in these 5 chapters, but we're getting in the form of profound philosophical discourse. So in that way we can digest it. We can digest it in this way. We're not ready to go and dance in the rasa dance. But actually, Srila Prabhupada said that's the purpose of life. If you read 3rd canto, 1 purport, he says Krishna's calling all of us. He's waking us up to go and join him in the rasa dance. And that's in a verse about creation. So I'm going to go back to Chaitanya Charitamrita. It describes Radharani, Devi, Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Para Devata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kanti Samohini Para. Srimati Radharani is the counterpart of Kṛṣṇa, central figure for all goddesses of fortune. So she's the original. Just like Kṛṣṇa is Swayam Bhagavan, Radharani is the original goddess. Just like, I think a couple of years ago, somebody in this class was he was asking me a question about, in the next chapter, 31, that how Lakshmi has come to Vrindavan. So I said, well, who is the Lakshmi of Vrindavan? It's Radharani, because Lakshmi's on the other side. She can't come. So it's Radharani is the goddess of fortune, is the Lakshmi of Vrindavan. So she's the internal potency of Kṛṣṇa. Krishnamayi. What is the meaning? Radharani has the name, another name is Krishnamayi. What does that mean? It means inside and outside Kṛṣṇa. Just like here, all these gopīs, they're seeing Kṛṣṇa everywhere. The trees, they see with the deer, with the passing of the deer, oh, you must have seen Kṛṣṇa. And with the twigs wrapping around the trees, oh, Kṛṣṇa must have touched you. They're seeing Kṛṣṇa everywhere. And this is the mystery of love of Godhead, as described in the Chaturshloki verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, that the mystery is love of Godhead. That is the mystery. It's a great mystery to everybody. What is the mystery? So Prabhupada said, the mystery is when you're able to see Krishna inside and outside, with love, prema, love of Godhead. So Krishnamayi also means that Radharani is the same as Krishna. And because she has the mellows of love. So she thinks of Krishna within and without and remembers only Krishna wherever she goes. Krishna vancha purti rupa koriya radhane vatui radhika nam purane vakane. Her worship consists of fulfilling desires of Krishna. So the Puranas call her Radhika. And it's derived from the root word aradhana, so that we see in this verse, aradhita. Aradhita, aradhana, means worship. She excels everyone in worship of Krishna. So that confirms this verse. So that's why Govinda has brought her to a lonely place. And she's Parama Devata, worshipable for everyone. Everyone. So Srila Prabhupada, very interestingly enough, says that Bhagavad-Gita, there is a reference to Radharani. That is the verse, Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. He mentions this in Nectar of Devotion. Daivim prakritim is Srimati Radharani. So actually, she's hidden not only in Bhagavatam, she's hidden in Bhagavad-Gita. Prabhupada brought her out in Nectar of Devotion. And she's the protectress. She's protecting all of us, actually, in our devotional service. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is not alone. She's first comes Hare, then Krishna. You cannot approach Krishna directly. You have to go through Radharani. And that's, Srila Prabhupada said, that's why in Vrindavan everyone says Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe, because they know without Radharani, can't get Krishna. We cannot please Krishna. We don't want to get Krishna, actually. We want to please Krishna. And we do that through Radharani. Prabhupada says, give a flower in the hand of Radharani, and she can offer it to Krishna. Jai Radhe. So if we take shelter of Daivi Prakriti, then that's Radharani. When I was Pujari in Calcutta Temple, then Prabhupada said to us pujaris that Radharani is controlling the worship here. It's under control of Radharani. So we cannot do without her help. And that means in Nectar of Devotion, he said that to perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani. And that's why devotees of Vrindavan put themselves under her care. So we offer obeisances first to Radharani, and that is Krishna's compassionate nature. So there's another verse I would like to share with you from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini Govinda Sarvasya Sarvakanta Shiromani. Radha is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda, and she is the enchantress of Govinda. So Krishna, he is Madan Mohan. His beauty is so enchanting, it defeats hundreds and thousands of cupids. But Radharani can enchant even Krishna. So he's Madan Mohan, she's Madan Mohan Mohini. He's enchanted by her. And like when I was Pujari also, my first instruction was, you have to make Radharani more beautiful than Krishna. Because in Vaikuntha, Narayani is more beautiful than Lakshmi. But in Goloka, Radharani is more beautiful than Krishna. My husband was dressing Radharani, I was dressing Krishna. And he was saying, oh, I know, you're just going to take all the best ones, best flowers and jewels. I said, no, Radharani has to be more beautiful. Prabhupada said. So yes, we worship Radharani as the most beautiful. So how did Krishna get the name Madan Mohan, that bewilderer of Cupid? One time Cupid came to Krishna asking for the benediction that he could bewilder him or his devotees. So Krishna said, okay, come to the Rasa Leela. So many gopis will be there. Many of them are newcomers. Maybe you can bewilder one of them. But then after Cupid left, Krishna was getting a little worried. He said, oh no. He told Radharani, look what I said. I told Cupid he could bewilder someone in our Rasa Leela. Radha said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So then the night came of Rasa Leela. Cupid came with his arrows of sound, form, taste, touch, and smell. Krishna blew his flute. All the gopis came running. And as they began to dance, Radharani expanded her Hladini Shakti. And she touched everyone's heart with pure bhakti. As she touched Cupid's heart, he became bewildered, dropped his bow and arrows, and developed attraction for the beauty of Krishna. So, yes, he's bewildered by Krishna's beauty, of course, with the help of Radharani. So Radharani and the gopis are the same, but here the gopis are saying, no, Radharani is better than us. And Srila Prabhupada said, therefore, the only business of the gopis is to take Radharani and join her with Krishna, because Radharani is loved by Krishna the most. So in Vrindavan, they are not envious. They want to bring Radharani to Krishna. Of course, Radharani wants to bring the others to Krishna, so it's competition there. Competition. There's a verse, interesting verse in the 6th canto, 19th chapter, about Lakshmi. She's a reservoir of spiritual qualities, and about Krishna is the enjoyer. And so Krishna is the super soul, Lakshmi is the form of bodies, senses, and minds. So our bodies, senses, and minds are the form of Lakshmi. So if our bodies, senses, and minds are the form of Lakshmi, who's supposed to enjoy our bodies, senses, and mind? It's Krishna, Govinda, Govinda. And so, yes, this is the profound philosophical discussion that we're having, which is the nectar coming from the lips of Vyasadeva. And so when we chant, we can bring Radha and Krishna together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this purport was mentioning all of the marks on Radharani's lotus feet. So I'm going to select one of the marks, the sacrificial altar. There's a sacrificial altar on one of Radharani's lotus feet. And what does that mean? It means the sins of those who meditate on her feet are burned up as if on the altar of sacrifice. That's one meaning. Secondly, just as the universe is nourished by the brahmanas offering fire sacrifices, so those who offer their minds in sacrifice to Radharani's feet stimulate universal nourishment that affects all of creation. So if we just think of Radharani's lotus feet, then we stimulate the whole universe. Stimulate, if we keep our mind there. Not so easy. Now, my favorite meaning is this. The universe is the form of Krishna. And the offering is the form of Radharani. So when you offer something to Krishna, then their union is there on the sacrificial altar. So, yes, we should offer everything to Krishna. So Radharani teaches how to love Krishna without any motive. Here in this chapter 30, when Krishna left the rasa dance, the gopis went mad. So it's showing three kind of steps in their madness. The first step of the madness was they started inquiring from the trees and creepers. Where is Krishna? They start talking to them. I don't know what they would analyze this in modern psychology, when you start talking to the trees and the creepers. And the second madness was imitating Krishna's pastimes, as we heard yesterday. Somebody was Putana, somebody was Krishna. And third, they were completely identifying with Krishna. And then fourth, we're going to hear actually a little bit later, And it may not be in these translations in Bhagavatam, but it's in Kṛṣṇa book, Prabhupada's translation. When they went deep and deep into the forest, where there was no moonlight, they started chanting Hare Krishna, Prabhupada said. So they're chanting Hare Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. In fact, vilokyārtāḥ premadan harinam sankirtan is coming from Goloka. Yeah, sometimes somebody asked me one time, the gopīs, they're chanting Hare Krishna? I said, yes. Where do you think we're getting it from? And there was one interesting story I heard about one devotee. He used to be in the American CIA agent. He used to be a CIA agent. And they made a special machine where they could get messages from intelligent people in outer space. They were getting messages. And so what message? They got a message, and they typed it out. And what was the message? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So that CIA became a devotee. After that, he said, okay, these people must have something there. We didn't hear about that in the news. They didn't want to publish that. But yes, the devotee became a devotee after hearing that. So yes, so Maha Mantra is Radha Tantra, is a method of worship of Radharani and the gopīs. In Prabhupada's first lecture on the holy name, he said these three words, Hara, Krishna, and Rama, are the transcendental seeds of the Maha Mantra. Chanting is a spiritual call for the Lord and His energy to give protection of the conditioned soul. The chanting is exactly like the genuine cry of a child for its mother's presence. So, yes, many times Prabhupada said we should cry for the mother's presence when we chant Hare Krishna. We should cry for Krishna. Yes, there we go. Yeah, only the mother will satisfy the child. Thanks. Yeah, and then when Mother Hara, then what Prabhupada says, Mother Hara helps the devotee achieve the Lord Father's grace, and the Lord reveals Himself to the devotee who chants this mantra sincerely. So if we cry for our mother, then she picks us up. And what does she do? She gives us to Kṛṣṇa. Yes, we need to be offered to Kṛṣṇa. So that's why we have to meditate on the holy name. Radharani is our mother. We have a relationship with her, and we just forgot it. So when we chant, we can reestablish our relationship with Mother Radharani and Father Kṛṣṇa. So Prabhupada ends his lecture. He says, no other means of spiritualization is as effective in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy as the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's a story from Vrindavan I'd like to share with you. There's a place called Shiva Koti, where there's a wonderful temple of Lord Shiva, Rameshwar, and there's a small lake just close to that temple. 5,000 years ago, a jackal was drinking water from that lake. So among animals, jackals are not very respected. I think there's some really bad things you can do in this life to become a jackal in your next life. I don't remember what, but don't do it. So, you know, sometimes if you're beautiful, you dance like a peacock or sing like a cuckoo bird, but nobody talks about the jackal. It's a very horrible sound. Yeah, he's like a wild dog, looks like. Eats dead corpses. So this jackal was drinking water, it's a female, and children saw it and they started laughing and beating it with sticks. And the jackal was crying and weeping in pain. So they kept beating, and the jackal somehow got into a hole and got away, and they were throwing stones at it, and they built a fire at the mouth of the hole, so the jackal couldn't get out. And just at that time, Radharani and her gopi friends happened to be walking some distance, and she felt compassion. And she told her friend Lalita, no one should be suffering like this. Go bring that jackal to me. So Lalita saw the children waiting at the hole with sticks, and she chased the children away and put out the fire and reached out in the hole and pulled out the jackal and brought the jackal to Radharani. The jackal bowed down at Radha's feet, and Radha knelt down and petted her on the head, accepted her as her own eternal servant. Then she gave the jackal perfection of liberation, prema bhakti. So this story has a symbolism. The jackal represents the fallen conditioned soul in illusion. Where in illusion there's a fire at the exit, so we can't get out. And we are pure spirit. We are part of Kṛṣṇa, but somehow we're identifying with these jackal-like identities. Very embarrassing. And the children are the threefold miseries of material existence: adhyatmika, adhibodhika, adhidavika. So tsunami, now earthquake is happening. Some 6,000 people died in Turkey from earthquake. And war is going on in Ukraine. And the fire is material existence, the burning fire of material existence. Samsara davana vilokyā. And the scriptures describe it's just like a burning fire. We're in the log, and there's a fire on one side burning and fire on the other side, and we're in the middle. So how to get out, how to escape. So when we cry, like the jackal, it's a humble calling for the mercy of Radharani. We chant her holy name, then she will give us her heart. She'll rescue us. She'll take us. So that's why we chant Hare Krishna. So many reasons why. And one of the main reasons is to capture the attention of Radharani. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Stop there. Any questions or comments? Panchagoda, of course.
Welcome back home, Vrindavan.
Thank you.
So Srimati Radharani is an expansion of Kṛṣṇa, just like Balaram's an expansion of Kṛṣṇa, and she's like the mercy incarnate. She's like God herself, that in a merciful mood, that by calling out to her, she refers us to Kṛṣṇa. And what about Chandravali? Does she come into the picture at all? If we look for some blessings from another intimate associate of Lord Kṛṣṇa, does that work as well?
Well, Srila Prabhupada said Hare means Radha. So we don't say Chandra Krishna. We don't. We are Rupa Nugas. So we are very faithful to Radharani. We are following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. So therefore, we are trying to bring Radharani with Kṛṣṇa. I cannot speak much about Chandravali.
You better not.
But she does have a place in the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa. She makes things interesting, livens things up. But one time when Radharani was almost dying, she did come and touch Radharani's feet. I don't remember that story exactly, but she did come and touch Radharani's feet. And
should we think of Radharani as Kṛṣṇa also?
who? What?
Should we think of Radharani as also being Kṛṣṇa or an expansion of Kṛṣṇa?
Well, you can think of Lord Chaitanya as Radha and Kṛṣṇa. There's Panchatattva, so Balaram is Nitai, Radharani is Gadadhar Pandit. So she's the expansion of the energy of Kṛṣṇa, she's not Vishnu Tattva. So we do have we have Nitai and Advaita, who are Vishnu Tattva expansions. And then we have Radharani Gadadhar, who is internal potency. And then we have Shivas, who is marginal, who is us. So Panchatattva.
Fully clear now.
Thank you. Panchatattva, yeah, don't forget Panchatattva. Any other? Yes, over here.
Sometimes it's said that in Gaudiya Vaishnavism we are worshippers of Radharani. And one of the acharyas say that he happens to like Kṛṣṇa, we also worship Kṛṣṇa. But we are actually Gaudiyas. Gaudiyas are more like devoted to Radharani. That's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said one time when he saw a Kirtan party and he said, what is the difference between them and us? We worship Kṛṣṇa who belongs to Radharani. So,
Okay, yeah, I did read recently where Prabhupada said Krishna is Radharani's ornament. So that sounds like the same thing we're saying here. If he's the ornament of Radharani, it means if you want to worship Krishna without Radharani, then that's Vasudeva. That's not Krishna. It's not the original Krishna. Original Krishna is not alone, he's with Radharani. So therefore they go together. And some people will say, some will say no, it's Radharani, and some will say no, it's Krishna. Even in the spiritual world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's not that we should emphasize one over the other, it's something
Right. Yeah, so yeah, no need to emphasize, only because we got the verse where Radharani's name was explicitly stated, that's why we emphasize Radharani today. There's so many verses in Bhagavatam that emphasize Krishna this and Krishna that, but not so many about Radharani. This is a very special verse, and that's why we did emphasize Radharani today. Yes, over there.
And how to see Subhadra Mai, where she's located. We are missing her too much.
Jagannath Puri.
It is okay. That is, but she should be in the Panchatattva also. She should be in...
Well, she would be under energy, so then that would mean expansion of Radharani. There's one tattva which is energy, and that's Gadadhar. So then she would be one of Radharani's expansions. Mahamaya is also expansion of Radharani. I was just reading, my god sister she got the name Mahamaya. And Prabhupada said, no, Mahamaya is an expansion of Radharani. So Yogamaya also expansion, Radharani.
When we chant Hare Krishna, I prefer put Hare in Subhadra, not in Radharani.
Okay, no, I don't know if Prabhupada mentioned Radharani, but there was a discussion with Rama, and 3 different opinions were there. Is it Balaram, is it Ram, is it Parashuram? Prabhupada said, any one of them, it can be. It can be anyone. Yeah, so you can go to Puri, it sounds like, where you went to go. Okay, any other questions or comments? Yes, over here.
Hare Krishna. Please forgive me for asking you this question, but did Prabhupada not say that Rasa Lila was not to be discussed in the public?
Exactly. Yeah, so that's why we're not discussing Rasa Lila in public. We're discussing Radharani. And we're giving Prabhupada's comments to this verse. Because Rasa Lila is there in Krishna book. It's there. And we do read that chapter also. But the problem, why Prabhupada said that, is because all these seven-day Bhagavatam reciters, that's what they recite, Rasa Lila. Because they want to attract, mundane people. So, and Prabhupada never discussed it. But he did talk about Radharani sometimes. He said that we should go through Radharani to go to Krishna. He did, like in the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I read, and the verse from Bhagavatam, which I read, that, yes, we should not discuss the intimate affairs that are going on, but we can discuss the philosophical basis. And just like the purport I read, it said there is no difference between the profound philosophical discussions and kissing by the Lord. So we're not discussing the kissing. We're discussing profound philosophical discussions. So we have to keep it like Prabhupada did. You can read Krishna book and you will see all the philosophy there. You won't just get the straight Rasa Lila. You'll get so many pages of philosophy there about the Rasa dance. So yes, we are not discussing what they are doing. in the rasa dance here. But it does exist, and Krishna does want us to go there. So, and since we are reading the Rasa Leela verses, what can we do?
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Have the philosophical, which is, that's better. We talk philosophy instead of what they're doing in the rasa dance. That's what we didn't discuss, what they were doing, what they are doing. Yes, it's true. We have to be very careful. Sometimes it happens, not in ISKCON, but outside. Sometimes they will discuss these things, and this is not good. They will talk about all the things. I think it even happened here in Vrindavan one time, and the person who spoke it got banned for 2 years. I remember. It was not good. So, yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to cross the barrier, cross the boundary. We don't want to cross the boundaries. Yes? Over here.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. As we're speaking today, Radharani is so important in our worship, in our sadhana, in our whole philosophy. And Lord Chaitanya established Srimad Bhagavatam as our main source of knowledge and Siddhanta. But we see that Bhagavatam doesn't mention Radharani, and the few places it's mentioned is very hidden. But Lakshmi is mentioned so many times. And if Radharani is the part of the divine couple, the worshipable deities of our life and soul, then how is it that she is not mentioned in Shastra?
Well, one reason is given because if Shukadeva were to mention Radharani, he would faint and go in a trance, and that would be the end of your Bhagavatam recital. That's the reason I have heard, that because he could not handle it. Somehow, here it says, Vishwanath says, somehow it escaped from his lips here. But how could it? This verse is directly Radharani. So, but I've seen in many places in Bhagavatam, Aradhana, Aradhana. It's there in many verses. 8th canto, this canto, that canto. It's there, but it's hidden. It's hidden. Yes? Back to the lady. Yes, the one, you who raised your hand. Oh, it's not you. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Narayani Mataji. I ask question on behalf of the Mataji who raised her hand.
Oh, okay. So it is you.
Yes. Why Radharani shows man envy towards other gopis? When Krishna goes to other gopis, Radharani becomes jealous.
Because that is her. Okay, I'll repeat the question. Why does Radharani get angry when Krishna goes to the other gopis? So there's two kinds of gopis. I was just reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita yesterday. There is the left wing and there's the right wing. So the left wing is always angry and trying to getting angry with Krishna. And the left wing is always submissive and trying to just be very humble and please Krishna. And Krishna likes both. Krishna likes both. He likes someone to be angry. If you read Lalita Madhava, written by Rupa Goswami, I think it's Rupa Goswami, then first Krishna gets married to Rukmini, and she's never angry, and he tries to make her angry, but he can't. So he's frustrated. Then Satyabhama comes into his life, and he's really happy, because she's saying, why you give this tree, this parijata tree to Rukmini? I want a whole tree, not just a flower. So he had to take her to the heavenly planets to get a whole tree. Because it makes it interesting in Krishna's pastimes. And that's her nature. She's an angry gopi. Sometimes she's submissive too, but mostly, she does express that. And Krishna likes that variety of individuals and variety of tastes. And so that's why, and she can't help it, that's her nature. She's left-wing. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, Jai. Oh, you have a question? Okay, well, wait for the microphone. We can't hear you.
Just you have very beautifully elaborated. The word there is anaradhito nunam, means the best worshipper.
Yeah.
So Radharani knows the best way to serve Krishna. She is not jealous of anybody. She
Right.
just wants to serve Krishna in a very best way.
She wants to serve Krishna the best way, and he knows that Krishna is most happy when she serves him. And that's why the gopis were upset when Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura. They were speaking like they were envious of the women of Mathura, but actually they were thinking, oh, Krishna must not be happy because we only can really make him happy. And Krishna said, yeah, that's the truth. I'm missing you, I'm crying for you. And so because they know, yeah, only we can make you happy. Only Radharani can make you happy. So their main thing is to make Krishna happy. So that's why they bring Radharani to Krishna. But Radharani brings others to Krishna also. She does that too. Sometimes she's okay like that, and sometimes not. So different. You never know what to expect from Radharani. Sometimes she can be angry, sometimes she can be, submissive. And so Krishna likes that.
And Mataji, very nicely you have elaborated about the Yogamaya, which is when Krishna descended. So that is the sister of Krishna as a Yogamaya.
Right.
And the Mahamaya is an expansion of Yogamaya. That's why you have mentioned Devi Krishna Mai Prokta. You have mentioned that in the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna Mahatmas Mam Tupartha.
Yeah.
So Yogamaya has the mercy on Mahatmas, and those who are Duratma, Devi Yashugunamaya Mammaya Durataya.
Yes.
So
yes.
that is Durga, Mahamaya.
Durga, yeah. Okay, thank you. Anybody else have a question? Okay, Jai, glory to Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. Namaskar, Jai. Shri Prabhupada ki.